back, everybody. I hope you had a great week. And this week, our topic is entertainment, and my guest is Deborah. Hi, Deborah.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. What about you?
Okay, not loving this weather, but
No, yeah. Today it's raining, and then we had this was the weekend that we had a surprise snowstorm
yes,
on just before Halloween.
yes,
So I was joking with my a friend of mine that we talk about a white Christmas, about having snow for Christmas, and sometimes in New England we have a white Halloween instead.
yes, it does happen here.
It does. So today our topic is entertainment, which can mean lots of different things, but basically anything that is entertaining. So, something that is fun or passes the time well. So could be something that's funny. And I think right now, a lot of people are really interested in things they can do from home that are
Yes.
entertaining. If normally they would go out for entertainment, now lots of people are doing things from home. So, I should ask you, how has your entertainment changed this year? Are things happening differently for you?
Yes, they definitely are. One thing that's different is I'm doing jigsaw puzzles now, and I never did
Mm.
that before. I mean, I would occasionally take one out maybe once a year, but during all the last spring, and now we've already started again. My daughter and I have started a new puzzle. We do 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzles.
Mm.
Um, and that's one thing that's different. I also have started to draw. I'm teaching myself
Oh.
to draw, and I do Italian lessons on an app called Duolingo. I'm
Mhm.
teaching myself Italian. So yes, those are new things.
I think I didn't even think of doing jigsaw puzzles. That's something that my family likes to do. That's a really fun thing to do. Do you have a certain kind of puzzle that you really like to do, like a certain kind of scene, or do you like pretty much anything that's
Well, we don't like puzzles that are just like a cat or something like that. We
Mhm.
like scenes,
A scene?
and
Hmm.
the more beautiful, the better. It makes it more
Hmm.
interesting because some of these puzzles are challenging enough that it could take weeks. And we've got a puzzle board and we have it laid out and we just get to it. But the one we're doing right now is beautiful. It's masterpieces, and within the frame of the puzzle, the edges are separate paintings. So you
Mm.
put the paintings together within the puzzle, and they're beautiful. So yes, I think it makes a difference if it's something you like to look at. So we
Hmm.
try to choose beautiful ones.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So puzzles, and then there was something else, and then you're
Drawing.
also drawing. That's right. So what do you use to draw with? I know people use different mediums or different, do you
Yes.
use a certain kind of pencil or pen? What works for
Well,
you?
I use pencil, and I have a set of drawing pencils that are different weights. So I use those. Sometimes I go over it with watercolor pencils if I want to turn it into a watercolor. Sometimes I go over it with black ink and just keep it an ink painting. But a lot of times I'm just learning how to sketch basically. So I
Mm-hmm.
have a sketchbook. So it's mostly pencil. But I'm just doing it along with this book that
Mm-hmm.
teaches you how to draw, and gives you a lot of theory. But I have drawn a little bit in the past, but nothing
Mm-hmm.
like I did this. I really concentrated, so it's really fun.
And I also think it's interesting that you started learning Italian. Had you studied Italian before?
I did. I was actually a Spanish teacher for a number of years,
Uh-huh.
and in college I took some Italian as well, and I loved it. And then several years ago, I took a continuing ed course in Italian for adults,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been to Italy a couple of times, just vacation. But I really love Italian, and that was one of my goals, my retirement goals for when I was still working, that I would learn Italian better. And I highly recommend that app. Duolingo. It's
Mhm.
really takes you through it.
I don't know if you've heard of this, but have you seen the app Tandem before?
No,
So it's actually a way to do a language exchange. I have a German conversation partner through that, and
really?
basically, yeah, if there's a language that you speak fluently and there's a language that you're learning, you can exchange with somebody. So you can figure out kind of what you would like, whether you just want to talk by messages, whether you want to set up times for audio or video calls or leave messages for
Wow.
each other. We've set the rules that she writes to me in English and I write to her in German, and then we correct each other's mistakes.
Oh, that's
So it can be
great.
really
I'm
useful.
definitely going to look into that. That sounds like a great idea.
So learning new skills is always something that's fun to do. But sometimes I think it's a very rewarding way to spend time. But sometimes you don't want to do something that feels like a lot of effort, right? If you're
Right.
building something, sometimes we people like a little bit more sort of passive entertainment.
Right.
Do you like to, for when you're in that kind of mood, maybe read books or watch
Mhm.
movies or TV
Yes.
shows? What works for
I
you?
read a lot, and
Mhm.
I read probably maybe at least 2 hours a day, more if I can. Um, I watch a little bit of TV, maybe an hour, sometimes 2 hours if there's a movie, every day. Um, I like to go outside and take a walk.
Mm.
I try to do that every day, but I really don't like to be too cold.
Mm.
So, and I don't go out in the rain. So that's another thing. But yes, I think my go-to thing for when I have downtime and, like you said, just want something that's easy, I read.
So what genres of books do you like to read?
So I think I read more fiction than I do nonfiction. But I don't think I have like some people have their go-to. They like mysteries or spy novels or something. I don't have that. But I think same for me with TV. I like character development. I like to get to know the people in the books. So if the writing is very good and I can believe in the characters, that's important to me. I like to get lost in the book and really feel like I'm there. And that's my sign of a good book. After I put it down, if I'm still thinking about it days later or a week later, I know it was a good book. So,
Yeah.
yes.
And and where do you go for book recommendations? Do you ask friends? Do you look at
um,
the top reader lists?
well,
So I
I'm in a
can.
book club, but we're not
Hmm.
meeting right now. I've been in the same book club for, oh gosh, almost 30 years, like 28 years. But
Wow.
I get, and sometimes we recommend to each other books that we're not going to read together, but books that people have read on their own.
Mm.
And I don't know, sometimes just reading an article like in Time Magazine or something, they recommend books, and I keep a
Mhm.
running list. If someone recommends a book to me or I read about it in the news or something, I keep a list and I go back and look, decide if I want to read those or not.
Yeah, I found the Acton Public Library is part of a online network where you can get
Right.
lots of digital books
Mhm.
very easily from them if you have a library card, and you can apply for a library card, I think now even digitally,
Yes.
if you want one. And that's how I read a lot of books now is when I use the app, and you can check out a digital copy for an e-reader or audiobooks
Uh-huh.
that way. And that's a great way to be able to
It
read
is.
lots of books
Yeah.
without having to spend any money at all.
Right.
Are there things that your family really likes to do together besides maybe puzzles for entertainment?
We like to play games. We did that somewhat last spring. We like to play Scrabble,
Hmm.
cards a little bit, but there are three of us. But if we have a bigger group, if the other members of the family come and visit, I hope there are other games we can play too. But we walk together, so go on hikes. We've explored a lot of trails in the area. So I think those are the big things.
Well, with that, I think we will come to a close. So
Okay.
thank you so much for talking to me,
Been
Deborah.
fun.
And thank you everybody for watching. And I hope everyone has some great conversations with their partners this week about things to do for entertainment. So I will say goodbye for now.
Goodbye. Thank you. Nice talking
Thanks.
with you.